Hey, welcome to Daddy-Daughter Movie Night. I'm Tom. We're back after a brief hiatus. Christmas happened in there somewhere. School break happened, work happened, lots of things going on, and it's been kind of hard to sneak down here and do videos.
Hey, pal, your excuses are your own.
But we're back for 2020, and something interesting happened over the break. We had some time to sit, my daughter and I, and share a new series. Netflix kind of tricked us into watching. They know by now, the algorithm knows that if there's an animated dragon on their menu, that in our household, we will probably click on it and give it a try. And so we did when this little guy showed up. We thought maybe it was a spin-off of the How to Train Your Dragon series. But no, this has nothing to do with How to Train Your Dragon. It's the Dragon Prince. It really kind of took us by surprise and blew us away. So we're going to talk about that and more coming right up. An epic story told over the course of 9 hours with warriors, kings, elves, dragons, sorcery, armies of light and darkness. Sounds like the Lord of the Rings to me, but no, this is the Dragon Prince, and it's really a one-of-a-kind show, and it's really something that all ages can enjoy. And I'm going to say almost all ages. Your mileage may vary, of course. At first I thought maybe it was a little too advanced for Abby, and I think at first maybe she agreed, but we both stuck with it and realized very quickly that this show does something pretty special. It threads the needle for older and younger viewers alike. There's just enough action and intrigue and advanced themes to keep an old guy like me interested in the story, but it doesn't go overboard, and it's watchable, almost 100% watchable by a 5-year-old, and she got into the whole story. The story centers on some young protagonists on a quest, and it dawned on me, if you have been dying to share maybe the Lord of the Rings universe with your young ones, but they've been too young to show that to, this is a series that you might have great success with. Where other series like Dragon's Race to the Edge uses that amped up level of violence and action to keep older viewers engaged in what at the end of the day is really kids' fare, this series takes the opposite approach. It uses restraint in those areas to allow younger kids, much younger kids, to enjoy an epic saga that's more than compelling enough for an adult. It was really a special opportunity for us to watch an entire epic story together as father and daughter, and neither one of us sort of suffering through it for the other one's sake. We both really got engaged here, and despite having a time limit for our daughter for TV, it was me who at the end of each episode was saying, well, you know, just one more. I know we're going over time, but just one more. Let's watch and see where this goes, until we watched 3 seasons of it. And it's that good. The story of the Dragon Prince begins with a young elf named Rayla, who's sent to the kingdom of Katalis as part of a group of assassins. Rayla is practically a kid herself, so when she finally corners a human guard, she can't bring herself to kill him. She is thus banished by the elves and must set out alone to prove herself. Getting to the castle all alone, she corners the king's sons, the bookish, nerdy Callum and the young Prince Ezrin, who's heir to the throne. But once again, she shows mercy. This gives Ezrin just enough time to reveal to both of them that he's found in the castle, hidden away, the dragon's egg, once thought to have been destroyed. Rayla sees this as an opportunity to redeem her parents, who long ago were charged with protecting the egg. So the kids from both worlds team up to transport the egg back to its mother, who guards the border, in the hopes that it will no longer separate the two kingdoms and restore peace to the world. Along the way, we get flashbacks and glimpses into the past of how the elven and human worlds came to this state of affairs. And some good characters, seemingly good characters, reveal themselves to actually be selfish and hateful, while some bad characters, again, seemingly bad characters, find their own humanity and wind up helping the young heroes along their journey. Along the way, the egg hatches, and the two princes, now the Dragon Prince and the young Prince Ezrin, bond. This creates an even stronger potential for lasting peace between the two worlds, if only the two princes can get back to their respective thrones. However, some humans and some dragons prefer the status quo. They prefer war. and the subjugation of the other race. It's all very involved, but very relatable. And my little girl, while she might not have grasped all the politics, was very caught up in it, as caught up in it as I was. And that's because the characters are all very human, elves and people alike. And the emotional ride here is pretty universal. So I really recommend it for parents to check out for their young kids. It's rated TV 7, so much younger than that, and you as a parent will have to judge whether or not your kid will get into it. Mine did, and I think part of that also was the great animation, which reminded me of the Japanese manga style, the Studio Ghibli style a bit, and the fantastic, mesmerizing visuals that it affords the filmmakers and the latitude it gives them to decide what to show and what to hide, especially here where it came to scares and violence, as I've said. All of that is done with great care, and a sense of purpose comes through to really get at the heart of the characters and the story in a way that doesn't bore the grown-ups or spook the kids. Fast forward score is low to medium, I'd say, depending on the age or sensitivity of your kids. If they watched and enjoyed the How to Train Your Dragon series, the various shows on Netflix from that series, this is only slightly heavier than that at times, here and there. It kept us wondering, though, at every turn if it was going to become more intense. After a few episodes, we realized that no, this show is purposely guiding us through it and purposely intended to introduce a younger viewer to an epic fantasy universe and an epic tale in the vein of Tolkien, but without any nightmares. I think we fast forwarded maybe twice during the entire 9 hours, and in retrospect, I'm not even sure we needed to. No one seems to die in those other shows. Here they do die, but never through any gratuitous action, and always in service of the plot. For instance, King Harrow has to die in order for young Prince Ezrin to ascend the throne. But even King Harrow returns in flashbacks and newly discovered letters to his young sons, and that softens the finality of death for the less advanced viewers. This brings us to one small side issue with this series. I wasn't even going to bring it up. It's a non-issue to me, but there was enough talk about it online that is worth just mentioning and getting past. There are some depictions of same-sex couples in this series. Some parents online thought it was unnecessary and felt shoehorned in. And this all centers around some kissing that goes on, some of which I guess I missed. I don't know what they're talking about in some cases, but there's not that much kissing going on at all here. And of all the kissing I did spot that I can remember, maybe half were between two elf fathers and two female warriors. And there's, like I said, maybe once a piece. I don't remember. It's not a big issue for me. So were they shoehorned in at that rate? Maybe. Were they a problem for me? Absolutely not. Not when your overarching themes are ones of equality, forgiveness, redemption, self-realization, self-awareness. Who kisses who? Who cares? That brings us to Dad's Fads. Until recently, we called this section of the show Daddy's Reason to Watch. And there's really nobody that I noticed in the credits or in the voice talents that I recognized to recommend for you to look out for, keep an ear out for. You know, I do think the lead writer on this show wrote for The Last Airbender. As a grown-up watching this show, you won't need any trivia or other associations to get into this show. It's really gripping entertainment, and it stands on its own feet. It's really for everybody. So there are 3 seasons of The Dragon Prince currently running on Netflix, with a 4th heavily hinted at during the final episode that we watched. But honestly, it could end here and now, and I would never feel that this story was incomplete in any way. Having said that, yeah, I'd watch a 4th season of this if they made it. So get on that Netflix. And don't wait for a 4th season, though, to check out this series. It's really something special. So check it out. And check us out online, on Twitter, on Facebook. I'll put the links below. Please, please, please subscribe if you would, or if you want to. We'd really appreciate it. And hit the bell notifications so you'll be alerted to every new episode of Daddy Daughter Movie Night as it comes out. Until next time, I'm Tom, and we'll see you soon.